Kate Chopin was born Catherine O'Flaherty in St. Louis, Missouri on February 8th, 1850 or 1851. She was the third of five children. Her sisters died in infancy, and both brothers died in their early 20s, making her the only sibling to live past the age of 25. Perhaps it's better to wake up after all, even to suffer, than to remain a dupe to illusion all one's life. Kate's father, Thomas O'Flaherty, was an Irish immigrant from Galloway, Ireland. He was a successful businessman. Kate's mother, Alyssa Ferris, was a well-connected member of the French community in St. Louis. Her maternal grandmother was of French-Canadian descent. Some of her ancestors were among the first European inhabitants of Alabama. She grew up in St. Louis during the expansion of the Civil War. In 1855, at the age of 5 and a half, she was sent to the Sacred Heart Academy, a Catholic boarding school in St. Louis. Her father was killed 2 months later when a train collapsed on a bridge. For the next 2 years, she would remain at home with her mother, her grandmother, and her great-grandmother, all strong, independent, intelligent women. She later returned to Sacred Heart Academy, where the nuns were known for their intelligence also. She graduated in 1868. Kate O'Flaherty grew up surrounded by smart, independent, single women. In 1870, Kate married Oscar Chopin, a son of a wealthy cotton grower in Louisiana. They lived in New Orleans and had 5 boys and 2 girls. Later, they moved back to his home in Natchitoches, Louisiana. This is where Kate absorbed much of her Creole culture. Oscar admired his wife's independence and intelligence, and allowed her unheard of freedom. He later died in 1882, leaving Kate to raise 7 children alone. In 1884, she moved back to St. Louis with her mother, who sadly died a year later. Kate Chopin began writing to support herself and her young family. Kate wrote short stories for both children and adults, which were published in such magazines as the Atlantic Monthly, Vogue, the Century Magazine, and the Youth Companion. Her major works were two short stories collections, A Bayou Folks and A Night in Arcady. Some important short stories are Desiree's Baby, A Tale of Misconception in Antebellum, Louisiana, published in 1893. Kate wrote 2 novels, A Fault in 1890 and The Awakening in 1899. Kate's strong female upbringing by women with ancestry descending from both Irish and French families, and her life in Cajun and Creole culture gave her work a creative, unique twist. The content and message of The Awakening caused an uproar, and Kate was denied admission into the St. Louis Fine Arts Club based on that publication. Kate was extremely successful as a writer of short stories and novels. Kate was known as a feminist author during the women's movement in the 19th century. Her work influenced many women and helped make a change for women's rights. She inspired her readers to look at life and take it all in. Kate startled her public with frank portrayal of women's social, sexual, and spiritual awakening. Kate was a forerunner in the feminist authors in the 20th century. Her work is used in English classes all over the United States. Some honors and awards are a star on St. Louis Walk of Fame in 1990 and a bronze bust at the Writers' Corner in St. Louis, Missouri.